Welcome back to the Savage Nation. I am not a journalist. I'm a talk show host. I have opinions. I'm biased. Period. End of story. The rest of them all are biased. They don't tell you that, though. I'm for Trump. Point blank. Best choice we have. Donald Trump joins us right now in the Savage Nation. Donald, thank you for being with us. What's on your mind today?
Great honor. That's an amazing honor for you to say that is tremendous. I appreciate it, Michael.
But, Donald, why should I hide it? I mean, people make believe that they're not biased. You know and I know the media is biased one way or the other. They all pretend that they're scientists in a laboratory with a pipette in their mouth. They're all biased. They all have an axe to grind. Look what they're doing to you, smearing you every day with lies. Garbage, pure garbage, while they let Obama get away with virtual murder, give the bomb to Iran. Why is the media not saying one word about what Obama is doing to wreck this nation, Mr. Trump?
Well, he is doing a terrible job. He's been a terrible president. The person that likes him most, I always say, is Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy's now number 2. And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And, I see, Michael, it's been for a long time, I've heard you cannot be a very successful person and run for office, especially for president. And I really see it now, and people are actually putting things out. Mark Cuban said it today. He was very nice about what I'm doing, amazingly nice. And he said, but it's very hard for somebody that's successful to run because they go after you to a level. And I'm watching.
Right. In other words, if you have a product, they can attack your products. These other losers have no products. They've never been in business.
Michael, I'm watching people that know nothing about me, have nothing to do with me, and all of a sudden they're experts on Donald Trump, and they're talking about me like they know something. They don't have anything. The numbers are wrong. Everything is wrong. It's disgraceful. I mean, it's really... And at least I have the, with the @real Donald Trump, the Twitter stuff, I mean, at least I can fight back with the Twitter, and you can say, they don't know me, they never met me, and all of this stuff. But
Donald, wait a minute. I got to say this. Last week I said, here's the secret. The Hispanic people in this country who are legal will vote for Trump because they, of all people, know how hard it is to make a buck, and they want a businessman to run the country so they can hold on to what they make. They don't want a socialist stealing their money. And the poll comes out today, and it shows that you're leading other GOP contenders among Hispanics by a huge margin. It confirms exactly what I suspected. But, Donald, let's be clear. We know that we have a problem with illegals. We know that we have illegals voting in this country. We know that to vote in Mexico, every eligible Mexican has to have a tamper-proof photo ID card with a thumbprint and an embossed hologram. Would you use an executive action to establish strict voter ID laws in the U.S. if you became president?
Well, something has to be done, and I can't believe it where they want to take away cards, they want to take away identification. I assume that means somebody could vote 10 times. I mean, who the hell is going to know the difference? But, it's incredible when you look. And you speak of Mexico, and I have I have so many people from Mexico. They work for me. They're wonderful people. They're great people. And I respect Mexico as a country. The problem is their leaders are too smart for us. They're very cunning, and they're very smart, and they are ripping off our nation like you've never seen. And very interestingly, if you want to become a citizen of Mexico, it's almost impossible. It's so rigorous. It's so hard to become a citizen. They put you through the grinder, and you just can't do it. And yet in our country, boom, they walk right over the border, and everybody just comes in and has a good time, and we pay for them, whether it's prison or hospitals or anything. I mean, in California, I don't know if you saw the story, almost 50% of the people trying to get applying for driver's licenses are illegals. The whole thing is just insane.
So how come, Donald Trump, we can't upgrade to Mexican standards without being called racist? Why is it that we can't require voter ID, tamper-proof photo ID cards with a thumbprint as they have in Mexico? Why is it that we can't have the same stringent immigration rules that they have in Mexico themselves? Do you know what happens when a Guatemalan tries to come into Mexico? You know what they do to them.
Absolutely.
So the people in this country have no idea what reality is because of the media, and they won't say one word about this. Again, I have to go back. Don't you think it's a good idea to use an executive action to establish strict voter ID in the U.S.? I know I don't want to nail you. I don't want to get you to say yes, and then they'll nail you for that. Trump goes on right-wing Savage show and says voter ID law, and right away they start screaming racism. I get it. I know what they do. I know the game. So I guess you can't.
You go to a store, you need identification to buy something. You have to have identification. And it's incredible to me that people can fight it. You almost wonder, where do these people come from? Why are they fighting it? And how can we, our side, which is, by the way, I think the big silent majority, if you want to know the truth, how can we lose? And I think that's what's happened. That's why my poll numbers, we just got numbers in. It was just put on my desk as I'm talking to you. In Florida, almost 27% for Trump. Jeb Bush is 20. Marco Rubio is 9.7. He's the sitting senator. The other was a governor of Florida. People are tired of it. You know, you look at these numbers, like in Florida, and I love Florida. I go there all the time. I haven't made a speech in Florida in years, and I'm leading in Florida now, according to this poll. And look,
but Donald, wait a minute. Let's be clear. Donald, California is a one-party system. The unions in California put Jerry Brown in office, in my opinion. They have kept the Democrat machine running that state the way Tammany Hall once ran New York. And I believe the reason we have no voter ID in California and New York and anywhere else is because one party is dependent on voter fraud, and that party is the Democrat Party. I think something needs to be done. Okay, so immigration is one big problem, but there's another big problem, which is our military, which has been decimated under Barack Obama. What about the bomb for Iran? What would you do if you became president? What would you do to stop this pathway to a nuclear weapon?
Inconceivable that that deal is being approved, and inconceivable that Chuck Schumer, who I always thought loved Israel, to be honest with you, that he's going to approve it. Because Israel is in such danger now. And the whole Middle East, I mean, look, the place is a total disaster, what's going on in the Middle East. And you look at what's happening, and it's incredible that this could have happened. But Israel...
Wait, Donald, has Schumer come out and said he's going to support it?
Well, you know, nobody knows what he's going to do. I think nobody knows. And actually, I'm surprised that Israel isn't putting tremendous pressure on Schumer, because they do have a lot of power over Schumer. And I can't believe that Schumer is taking the stance. And nobody, I don't think, really knows. I think most people think he's going to actually support it. You know, the amazing thing about that, a couple of amazing things. The 24-day period. What idiot would allow 24 days? And, you know, the 24-day period doesn't start for a long time because they have to go through a whole process before it starts ticking. So they have 24-day period, but it's a lot longer than that. And the other thing, and it's just so simple to understand, are prisoners, where they say, we have 4 people in there. Let them out. Fellas, you got to let them out. And think of it. These people are in prison. And Kerry and Obama said they didn't want to mention the prisoners because they didn't want to complicate the negotiation. You say to yourself, what's complicated? You say, hey, by the way, it's good for all of us. Let the prisoners out. Yeah, if you have the right messenger, I guarantee you, if that were, those prisoners would be gone. They should have been gone at the beginning of the negotiation, not now. It's way late. But they should have been gone right at the beginning. We have 4 people over there. One's in there because he's a Christian. We have 4 people in the roughest prison, and they've been over there for a long period of time, and we make a deal. And then, of course, you look at all of the different places where we're fighting. They don't want to bring up one thing has nothing to do with the other. And on top of that, we're giving them billions and billions of dollars. I got to tell you, if Iran was a stock, you would buy immediately. You'd make a lot of money. Just wait what happens.
Well, what Donald Trump is referring to is the fact that Kerry Ketchup has given Iran a handout. In other words, Iran is going to be allowed 24 days before inspectors can access suspected nuclear sites. And what's even worse is yesterday Iran raised the stakes. You know, as a negotiator, you wrote the art of the deal many years ago, Donald. What they did was they got everything they wanted. So now they know they have tremendous strength. We have weakness. They raised the stakes yesterday. You know what they said in Iran? I'll tell you what. You want a soil sample to see if it has any isotopic activity? We're going to provide you with the soil. You can't even take it out on your own. What kind of deal is this? In 24 days, Iran can hide weaponization activity, centrifuge manufacturing, centrifuge components, uranium stockpiles, missile components, and other things in 24 days. This is not a deal. This is a sellout, Donald, and you know it, and you've been speaking out on it. What's wrong with saying it, though?
It's a disgrace, and how he allows this to happen. And what we should have done is increase the sanctions, doubled them up, and these people would have given us everything we wanted. It's such an embarrassment. Our country is so embarrassed by so many things. You know, one of the other things with the Iran deal, the chief negotiators are very smart. You know, the Persians have always been great negotiators, known great negotiators. The Iranians, the Persians. What happens is the chief negotiator goes back to Iran, and they're dancing and celebrating his big victory in the streets, okay, because it's a total victory. But, you know, if you look at Iran, they're going to be wealthy, they're going to be powerful, they're going to have the nuclear weapons now, and it probably will lead to a whole nuclear all over the Middle East. I mean, it's probably going to be a proliferation all over the Middle East. It is one of the dumbest deals I've ever seen.
So why then why did Obama push it so hard? Why does he need this deal? What is he seeking?
Who can know? You know, I said he would look so great if he walked away from that table right now. I said that 2 weeks ago. I said it a month ago. The other thing, did you ever see a deal that took so long to get done? This deal went on forever. And that's called tapping. You know, I do that. When I have a deal, I don't know if I want to make it. I might make it. I might not. So you tap the people on, tap, tap, tap. It's called tapping. I guarantee you that during the tapping period, they have been working like hell to put up, you know, to do what they were trying to do, which is pretty obvious to me as far as I'm concerned. But I don't think it even matters because this deal is so bad they can do whatever they want to do. Who's going to catch them? And don't forget, though, and I said it before, the 24 days takes a long time just to start the process, to start the clock. Mm-hmm. So it's a very sad thing, Mike. It's so sad. It's so embarrassing, the whole thing.
All right, wait a minute. So we've touched on two issues. One is the problem of the surge of illegals. We've touched on voter identification. We've touched on the nuclear deal. You're a businessman. You're a great businessman. You're profitable. The question is, you once said run the nation like a business, which I agree with, and we have talked about putting tariffs on China, goods from China. Do you still think that's a good idea?
Well, no, I don't like to do it unless they rip us off, and they've been ripping us off for years. We've rebuilt China. If you go to China, you will see bridges bigger than the George Washington Bridge being built all over the place. You're seeing highways that are so incredible. You'll see airports. Look at our airports, Kennedy and LaGuardia, and you look at LAX and Los Angeles and Newark. They're like third world airports. And you go to China, and by the way, other places. You go to Saudi Arabia, you go to Qatar, you go to Dubai. You go to places you've never seen anything. Michael, unless you've been there, you won't even believe what you're seeing. And then you come home and you land at LaGuardia where they have potholes in the runway.
I know.
It's just.
I know. It looks like Ellis Street in San Francisco. I get it. The money is snorted up somebody's nose. Donald Trump. Everyone's saying things about you that are untrue, and they're afraid that you're not in it for the long haul. We got over a year to go. You've got important businesses to run. I have a question for you. What about the millions, the tens of millions of Americans who have been excited by your campaign? Why is there no donation page where we can, help people contribute? You're a rich man, but you know this is going to cost $1.5 billion. You surely don't want to throw all of that out on your own. Are you considering having people donate money or not?
Yeah, they do. I guess it's called Trump.com, but it's so cute. I get a woman the other day. She sent me $7.11, which amounted to a percentage of her monthly something. An older woman. She said, "Mr. Trump, I love you so much." That was a lot of money for her. And I got the check. I don't know. Somehow I see this check. But people are sending a lot of money in. And I don't want the money. One of the nice things, I think one of the reasons I'm doing so well, Bush has raised over $100 million from people.
I know
all those people. They're friends of mine. A lot of them friends of mine. Some are enemies of mine. But I know them all. These are really powerful, smart, tough people. They don't give money because it's a charity. They give money because they want something. When Bush has over $100 million, when Hillary has over $50 million, everybody that gave millions of dollars is getting a lot for that. They're going to get all sorts of things. And in a lot of cases, it's very bad for the country. Good for them, good for their companies, but bad for the country.
Wait, so you're saying that you don't want donations because you don't want to be beholden to contributors, but small contributors don't want anything back, Donald?
Michael, one man offered $5 million. They want to put millions in. I said, don't do it because I don't want to have in a position where someday you're going to need. I want to do what's right. I have the expression, make America great again. I want to make America great again. I can do it. And you know what? If it keeps going the way it's going, Michael, you're never going to have that chance again. That's how bad it is. So
you're willing to blow $1.5 billion of your own money to become president?
Well, I'll be to see what happens. Number one, I'm doing really well so far. I guess they say I'm leading in all the polls. Let's see what happens. Okay, long way to go. It's a long.
So we've touched on the monetary aspects. Is there anything else you'd like to give out to the Savage Nation? Because I know your time is limited. You're on every show in the world. We all love what you're saying. And, of course, the smearers are smearing around the clock while letting Obama get away with virtual murder, giving Iran a nuclear weapon, etc. Anything else you want to leave the audience with, perhaps when we come back? Can you hold a few minutes, Donald, and close it out with that?
Okay, I'll hold.
Okay, thank you. I'll be right back. I'm Michael Savage. I am not a journalist. I'm a talk show host. I have strong opinions. Donald Trump is with us. Donald, we have very little time. What would you like to leave the audience with today on the Savage Nation?
Well, we have to strengthen our military. We have to absolutely take care of our vets, Mike. Our vets are treated so badly, so horribly, it's ridiculous. And we have to get rid of Obamacare. I mean, there's so much to do. There's so much to do. And we have to do it quickly, because we're not going to have much time. If we keep going this way, it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to bring it back. So we have to go. This is a very important election. This is maybe the most important election we've ever had. So, you know,
I hope you're in it for the long haul. Donald, I really hope you're in it for the long haul. And as I said at the beginning, and I'll say it again, go, Donald, go. I support your candidacy. No one's going to get, you know, I love the purists, Donald, the popes of conservatism, who say you're not really conservative, you're not this, you're too weak on that, you're almost conservative, you might be, and you're, you know, to you as the fact is no one's going to give them 100% of the pure vision they have for the George Washington that never existed. So as far as I'm concerned, you're the standard bearer. You're the only hope we have. You're the lion that we have been waiting for. You're the Winston Churchill of our time. And I pray to God that you're in it for the long haul. I ask only one thing in return for supporting you, Donald. When you become president, I want to run the NIH and clean it out and put real scientists into it.
That's
joking.
Very good. That's very well. We have a smart man in charge. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Donald Trump, God bless you. Keep it up. Don't let them get you down. As they said, you know, there's an old saying from ancient Rome, which I don't think I can say, which is non caberundi. You know that one? Non caberundum. Illegitimi non caberundum. I learned it in high school. Donald, thank you. Thank you very much. Keep hitting him real hard. They need it. Illegitimi non caberundum on the Savage Nation. In the third hour, you're going to hear me talk about many things, including an immigrant son comes full circle. Yours truly, Michael Savage, the only immigrant son in the media. That's right. You heard it. Not Martha Washington, but me.